Hi, welcome to my channel. I am Tulufeloma Buse. Please subscribe and like the video once I'm done, or once you're done watching, let me say that. And I did upload a video. My first video actually is an introduction video. Please go and watch it if you haven't. So I'm introducing a new series to my channel. It's going to be Scandalous Crimes. I'm basically going to be talking about crimes that shook the nation, shook the country, shook the world, actually, because I'm going to be talking about crimes that happened in South Africa and outside of South Africa. And I'm going to be calling this series Makeup and Scandalous Crimes, because I will be applying makeup while I talk about these crimes that took place. And my first video on this series is going to be about the case of Karabo Mokoena. I'm sure everyone knows Karabo Mokoena. I mean, her case stirred up the whole men are trash thing, the hashtag men are trash, and it was really painful to watch such a young lady die at the hands of a guy who till this day doesn't believe that he is guilty and never really even explained why he killed her. So yeah, in 1995, Lorraine and Tshepo Mokoena welcomed Karabo Mokoena to the world. Karabo is the second out of 3 children. The firstborn is Bontle Mokoena, and then the lastborn is Lebogang Mokoena. Lebogang is a boy and Bontle is a girl. Karabo Mokoena is born and raised in Diepkloof, Soweto. Karabo was a part-time business student. I don't know at which institution, but she was a part-time business student, and she was a very God-fearing girl. She was also part of organizations. She was an activist. She used to talk to women who've been abused, raped, or anything like that, and give them words of encouragement. Karabo was a very loving person, as people describe her. I'll keep on saying was because she is deceased. Let's not get that wrong. She's deceased, so that is why I'll keep on saying was. So Karabo was described as a very loving person by family, friends. People who knew her in general describe her as a very loving person who had a lot of love to give, and she was a very passionate person. She even went out of her way to give out counseling to women who have been abused, children, or people who are going through a little rough patch. She was a very selfless person. So let's begin with how Karabo and this Sandile guy meet. So in the last weekend of October, Karabo and her friends and her sister go out for a little, girls' time out. And this is where Karabo and the friends decide that no man, let's just change location, groove somewhere else. And then they went to a pizza restaurant. I'm trying to remember what is the name of it, but okay, slipped my mind. They went to a pizza restaurant in Rose Bank, and this is where Karabo and Sandile meet, basically, and they talk and they talk and they talk, and Karabo is thinking, oh my god, he's the one, he is everything I want. And Karabo says they connected on a very spiritual level, and they talked about God and how God is very important in your life, how praying is very important in your life. And Karabo was just like, oh my god, I've connected with this person. And the following day, on a Sunday, she calls her friend Stephanie and tells her that, bona Stephanie, we're going to have a bright future together, and we are vibing. So this is how they met. So let's go to when Sandile was born. Sandile was born in 1990, and he was raised in Bahleni. And Bahleni is in Mpumalanga. And he attended school in Secunda and then went on to go to Highveld High School. Don't know where it is, but it was in Highveld High School. He finished his education, or let me say attended school, in 2007, and this is when he also opened a business. He's also a businessman. He owns the $1 trillion investment company, and he is a forex trader. That should say a lot. But yeah, I'm going to get onto that thing of him being a forex trader. But he looks like a nice guy. Karabo is in love, no questions asked. So they're in love, they're in a relationship. Remember, their relationship started late October. So when their relationship starts in late October, and Karabo is now thinking, their relationship actually started on the first week of October. Sorry, the first weekend of October, that is when they met. So in the first week of October, that is when the thing started, them dating. But the abuse happened very, very early, within 3 to 4 weeks. He started showing his true colors, which is kind of surprising because the abusers normally take time before they show you who they truly are. But the abuse starts early, very early. And in the first incident, there is a friend of Sandile who says when the first incident happened, they were at a restaurant and Sandile just started obviously being physical with Karabo right there and then. And at this point, when he's been physical with Karabo, he keeps on saying, Karabo ojala lil Nigeria, mshapelo ojala Nigeria, atoma Nigeria. Yeah. And we are going to get to that part again of the whole thing of him saying Karabo utulele ma Nigeria and all that, because that's basically his whole case. So that is when the first beating started, which is early, three weeks, like 2 to 3 weeks. That's very early, but that is when the abuse started between these two. That is when the abuse started actually from Sandile. And then around March, Karabo then calls her friend Stephanie, and she is like, girl, can you please come here to Sentence Sky? And Stephanie comes to Sentence Sky. Sentence Sky is where Karabo and Sandile were staying. So the friend obviously goes. Please don't mind, ignore me if I'm being quiet. I'm just like battle with up. So Karabo and Sandile were staying here at Sentence Sky, and when the friend gets there, Karabo's like, girl, I'm done. I want to leave. This is not it. I can't take it anymore. So she then they leave, but they then decide hore batlo. So remember, Karabo's birthday also is in March, and this is exactly in March. So this was late March, and it was her birthday weekend, and so they decide, hore, let's go out. So they go out, and when they go out, they go to Icon, and then Habafita Icon is a club in Senton, and Habafita Mo go Icon, they meet up with Sandile. Sandile is there at this club, go Icon. He is there. He is grooving. Bear in mind, Sandile is the guy. He can go to clubs anytime, any day. This is where the club thing is also going to come back, but let's go. They then meet at the club, and obviously Karabo otlokwata, because here he is, and they have just, broken up, and he's obviously treating her like crap. And they meet there. Karabo is a little bit angry, but otherwise, mom ignora, they have fun. And then, obviously, after a few drinks, Karabo and Stephanie get intoxicated. And when they get intoxicated, Sandile can now see this, and he is taking full advantage of it. Then he says to the friend, Stephanie, hey, let's go to my apartment. Let's take Karabo to my apartment. Let's just take her to the car. And they get into the car. They are heading to the apartment, Sentence Sky. And on their way to the apartment, like in the drive, Karabo Watsuwa, and Karabo then says, no, man, let's just get out. Let's get out of the car and leave. Because all Sandile cares about is his girlfriend. So clearly he was also a cheater and an abuser. And he was cheating, which doesn't make sense. But Karabo says this, and Sandile loses it. Sandile tries to grab her in the car. Like, obviously someone is sitting in the front and you guys are sitting at the back. So obviously he's just going like this, trying to fight. And Stephanie's obviously getting in the middle of this fight. And they get to the apartment. And when they get to the apartment, Stephanie's like, Mamela Karabo, just come to the girl and let's leave. But the couple get into an argument again. And when the couple get into another argument, it kind of gets scary because Stephanie is here and Stephanie is trying to get in between them. But the fight is not stopping at all. And Stephanie tries to stop them. And when she's trying to stop them, she then gets, I'm assuming she gets like ke Karabo, ke Sandile. Stephanie's in the middle. She then goes back, and as Sandile hits Karabo, he falls on top of Karabo, and Karabo hits the concrete or shapa tile. And at this point, Stephanie's a little bit scared that, oh my god, what if something happened to her, or she's just quiet. And now Stephanie's focusing on her friend being better, her friend waking up, not being better. And at this point, Sandile has bruised Karabo. Karabo is in bruises. Karabo then goes to hospital. Now, I want to highlight this. This was her last birthday alive, because they met early October 2017, and this thing happened late March 2017. And late March, because her birthday is on the 27th, and they were celebrating her birthday. This means this was the last time she was celebrating her birthday ever in her entire life. So now Karabo then leaves Sandile, right? But she's in a critical condition, and she has to go to hospital. And then in the first weeks of April, Karabo decides, hey man, let me go out, let me enjoy life, let me go out, because I've made it and I've left that person, that abusive person. At this point, they have officially broken up. He's just a little bit in denial, obviously, because that is how they are. And mind you, Sandile was hijacked. And obviously when Karabo is opening a case against Sandile, saying, hey, this guy beat me, I was in hospital, ubula case, ubula docket, and the police, they also say, okay, but this person also opened a case against you. And I'd like to highlight something. When you're in an abusive relationship with a guy who hits you, when you retaliate and try to defend yourself, he immediately makes you out to be the bad person. Like, you become an abuser like him. And it's not that you become an abuser, you're just trying to retaliate. But everywhere he goes, he is going to make it look like, you don't even have the power to fight off this big man, let me say. You don't have the power to fight him off, but in his head, you are the abuser, you are the one who is abusing him. And he will just go around telling that story to literally everyone that he can sell it to. So he has also opened a case against Karabo, Sandile. Sandile buletse Karabo case, and then Karabo lena ubulela Sandile case. And obviously this, when the leading investigator takes this docket to the magistrate, both of them cannot be prosecuted. They cannot proceed. They cannot charge either of them, both Sandile and Karabo. And by the way, Karabo wasn't abusing Sandile. That one, I don't believe it one bit. Okay, then on the 27th of April, Karabo decides to go out with her sister and her friends. She just decides, let me just let bygones be bygones. Whatever happened has happened. And at this point, Karabo and Sandile, they are officially split out. Karabo is officially single, and Sandile Lena, he is officially single. They have nothing tied to each other. So Karabo wata uya tlapong le bagotsi ba hae, and she meets Sandile here yet again. And the friends leave. And they say their goodbyes. They leave Karabo at the club, and this is when Karabo then leaves with Sandile from the club, and that was the last time she was actually seen by anyone. So Karabo had tsamaya tlapong le Sandile. This is the last time that she was seen, even on the CCTV. But on the CCTV of Sandton Sky, that the 27th of April, that is not the last time she was precisely alive. On the 28th of April, this is the last time that she was seen alive. So Karabo le Sandile, they go to his apartment and they head into his apartment. But there is a CCTV footage mo Karabo a tswang le Sandile, and this was the last time that she was ever seen alive. So my question here is, this is where Sandile's story doesn't make sense when he was now questioned by police, because Karabo's family actually started getting worried on the 1st of May, because it is believed that Sandile was sending messages kafunya Karabo to her family and to her friends, and in which according to her family, Karabo naili Nigeria, which also doesn't make sense because she usually calls before she goes anywhere or does anything. So why wouldn't she call when she's skipping a whole country, right? And they got worried and they then opened a missing persons case, right? They then opened a missing persons case, and when they opened this missing persons case, obviously the first person that the police go to is Sandile, because he was the last one that was seen with her while she was alive. Then Sandile wabajetso, I could say nix, I know nothing. And Sandile did promise Mewa Karabo hore o tla kopana le ena, and you know, but Sandile does not do that. Instead, Sandile ore o ile lefung in Mpumalanga, ne? Sandile says, no, kileli fung Mpumalanga, which is a lie. He wasn't at a funeral in Mpumalanga. So, Sandile now becomes a prime suspect, actually, because he is the last person to ever be seen with Karabo. He is the last person to be seen with Karabo. And obviously, this will make you a suspect in police eyes. He's now a suspect, and they question him. And this guy, he says Karabo committed suicide. He found Karabo lying down on the carpet. Karabo committed suicide, so he got scared. Sandile got scared, Ankamilwa Karabo, and decided to take care of it, because he got scared that Habo Karabo, they're going to think it's him. Yeah, I know that doesn't make sense, because yeah, but he got scared and he thought, oh my god, but so let me just, let me just get rid of a body I didn't kill. I don't know if that makes sense. So what he then goes on to do is watamaya olonka dustbin it's a whole into. He goes and he takes the dustbin, and then hanka dustbin ya thing, he takes Karabo's body and loads it inside the dustbin, which is a lot of work now that I think about it. To take a whole body and put it in a dustbin, and then you go out again and you have to put the body go booting. It's just a lot of work. So he goes out and then he puts the body in his gold BMW, and he goes to his parents' house in Leidenhurst, alonka a tire which he's going to wrap around her neck, and then ankeli acid and petrol, which he's going to use to burn her body. So Ankantueto Sandile and went to a field in Leidenhurst. I am tuteng, yeah, fitla tuteng. I fitla mo tuteng, abe ayetsa he, abe sente a chikamkoti, a qeta chikamkoti jwalo. He then laid Karabo in there, put the tire around her neck, and at this point he knows he did something wrong, because he's hiding evidence, because he's putting the tie like around her neck, because he is very much aware he just committed a crime and he needs to hide his evidence. In my head, I think he thought he was going to get away with it. So he goes on to put the tire, and then tela petrolo le acid, and he burned her. Achisa Karabo, and he left and went on to live his life as normal. He went on to live his life as normal, no questions asked. It was obviously until the family then saw her, this is unlike Karabo to just leave, go somewhere, and then abasabui le rona for such a long time. And when the missing persons case is being filed, when the missing persons case is being filed, as I said, Sandile was the first suspect, and he was the first person that they went to, since he was the last person to ever see Karabo alive, and since that was confirmed even by the people who saw them leaving the club, and this was also confirmed by CCTV footage at Sentence Sky as well. So he is questioned now, and he's calm. This even shocked, but because why you so calm after killing a person? Like, you killed a whole human being, and here you are being calm. Doesn't make sense. So Okam Sandile, he is very, very much calm when he then told the police about the suicide story. And by the way, his stories change so much. His stories changed. This is what angers me, because he never really gave out a clear reason why Amobulaile. He killed him because he felt like it, I'm assuming, because he never really gave out a reason why he committed the crime. So Karabo committed suicide. This is the first story. Karabo committed suicide and he got scared and thought Karabo batlona hore ke ena a bolaileng Karabo, so he decided to dispose the body at a body that committed suicide. He even goes on to say Usa Karabo knows how Karabo has been suicidal. She used to cut herself, so she was very suicidal, and so it would make sense that she did kill herself. So obviously now this has turned into a murder case, because him saying Karabo committed suicide and he had to dispose the body, that raises a lot of eyebrows. So this is immediately a murder case. It's no longer a missing persons case. This is immediately a murder case. So he then later confesses, oh no, I did kill her. I killed her. He makes a confession to one leading investigator, because Karabo was starting to tell her friends secrets high, and then he goes on to then tell another constable hore he killed Karabo because Karabo ne a expose the secrets high. This is Constable Helen Mawete. No, he told the leading investigator, right, then he tells Constable Helen Mawete that he killed Karabo because they made a ritual, like they took part in some sort of ritual, and he needs to have powers, and since he's a businessman and he's doing forex, he needs powers so that his business can do good. And he says he killed Karabo. It was part of a ritual, and he was waiting for this person called Master or something. Constable Helen actually did testify this in court. It was taken in as evidence, since it also formed part of his confession, because he had so many different stories, so nothing really made sense. Yeah, so he said that. And it was also rumored it was for a ritual, because he was performing some kind of ritual. Okay, so now he has confessed, and now they need to tell Batswabo Karabo, okay, the person who bent your child actually gave Sandile, which is what they've been suspecting from the get-go. And this doesn't come as a shock to Karabo's friends, because Balebaya Husandile, when they immediately thought Karabo is missing, they went to Sandile's place, and the carpet was wet, and Bebamputo white carpet and he said no, freezer it's leaking. He pulled a Jeffrey Dahmer on them using a freezer as an excuse. So okay, yeah, they ignored that because we never did Karabo Mo anyway. So but hey man, Karabo higher, and obviously he didn't answer them. So at this point, as now he is being prosecuted, this guy still believes he's a victim. In court, everywhere, he says he tried to change Karabo's life, but Karabo ne arata ntotse nice ne arata high life. So he couldn't, and it is unfortunate that he came at a stage in her life that was very bad. This is his words. Those are his words. I mean, yeah, my contouring, yeah. But now ona zama ho chencha Karabo, but Karabo liked the high life. Karabo nearly mutuli into that. That is what he says, and he still says he's not guilty. He doesn't believe he killed Karabo. That's just something that he doesn't believe he did. He really doesn't think and even if he knows deep down in his head, he's thinking I did it for a purpose, right? Okay, so he goes to court, and as he's going to court, he's very calm. He literally is very calm for someone who killed someone and is trying to deny it. He's very calm. He did plead not guilty. And by the way, Sandile was married, but they were already separated. In 2016 October, they were already separated. Even the wife confirmed this, but the wife says Sandile is a very good person. Sandile Ankasi is into Ejalo. He is a very good person. Like, that is not him. Like, never. This is Sandile. He would never ever do something like that. And I repeat, we all get different versions of a person. What you get and what you experience from a person, it might not be what I experience from a person. So during his sentencing, the judge called Sandile a devil in disguise, right? He called Sandile a devil in disguise because that is exactly what he is. How do you move on? How do you even go on with life after killing someone? How do you do that? Like, you must have some sort of issues, like how right in your head, if you can do that and even have the hopes of not getting caught. That was my issue with him the whole time, that he really had the hopes that he would not get caught, and he believed deep down so Sandile gets convicted to 36 years in prison. He is charged with premeditated murder, and he is also charged with defeating the ends of justice. Sandile is currently undergoing a case for his $1 trillion business. He scammed people, basically. That is what they're saying. They are saying they were scammed by Sandile. And so everything that he did, because there's so many reasons. And Karabo committed suicide. That was the first thing he came up with. And Anna Abua Karabo Nigeria, which was the second one. And then he went on to say no, Karabo na criticized, so that is why he had to get rid of him. And then the other one was that he was given instructions, or it was part of a ritual that he had to do so that his business can succeed. So he had to kill Karabo. He also did speculate to Renal Karabo, they did these rituals together and all of that. Like balaba is how can I call it? Balaba it's agreement. Yeah, and then I cross a tattoo across Karabo, it's what they got from this master guy. Yeah. So he had a lot of reasons, but he went to prison and he's currently undergoing a case for a crime, like for fraud, not fraud. He scammed people with his scheme that he was doing. He scammed people and he is currently undergoing a case. He's being charged actually. So in conclusion, this was a very sad story, the case of Karabo Mokoena. It was a very sad story, and it really pissed me off because till this day we never really know why she died. We never know, and we never will, because he's not even willing to tell. He's not willing to tell, and he still acts like he is a victim in all of this. He never saw anything wrong with what he did. Basically, he didn't see anything wrong with what he did. What he did is what he was supposed to do in his eyes. And like, we're not going to tell him otherwise. That is what he was supposed to do, and he executed it. Karabo's family has a foundation for her, Karabo's foundation. You can follow it on Instagram and see and look at the updates, because Lorraine and Tsepo lost their child, and also Bundle and Lebran, they lost a sister. This is very sad. Stephanie lost a best friend. You cannot replace a best friend, and judging from the way they talk about Karabo, she was a good person, and literally nothing or no one can replace that. And you know, with parents as well, you can't replace a kid. That barely happens, and that really, it's impossible for it to happen. I am going to upload more videos where I talk about crimes, but I am going to upload them according to how I see, like how you guys react to the videos is obviously going to set a tone for the others that I am going to apply. Well, I didn't really get to finish my makeup, but I'm done with the video. Please subscribe and like the video, and don't forget to also click on your notification so that whenever I upload a new video, you just get a bell. Thank you so much for watching the video, and you can also watch the video that I did upload, my first introduction video on YouTube.